Hello, this is Jamie Hand, and I'm here to talk about my independent study during the fall 2015 semester with Middlebury College in collaboration with the Center for Open Science, involving information visualization. I used Python with a backend of Elasticsearch for the database and search engine using elasticsearch.py, and with a server made with Tornado, and a front end made with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, especially d3.js for my visualizations and interactivity. So most of this code can be found in my Learning Tornado repository on GitHub, including the documents that I used with Elasticsearch as prototype documents for the visualizations that will hopefully be helpful to the Center for Open Science. So if you open up the Elasticsearch documents, I'll open up the ones for Marvel because they're easier to read. And you can see that they have a title and contributors field, as well as a publish date and tags. So I ended up only visualizing the tags portion as well as the titles. But in the future, it could be expanded to also incorporate contributors and publish date and other fields. So I'll start out by demoing what my visualization does. So here is the final product, and I have here bars representing the number of tags in all of the documents. So what this page does is it accesses another URL in my server. It accesses this right here, and let's see if I refresh. Oh, it's the same one. Okay, so I'll just go to the local host of where Tornado is serving this website, and then go to ES because that's where my Elasticsearch documents are. And I didn't add any parameters at the end here, so it just gave me all of the documents. And this is exactly the URL that this file accesses to get its documents. So this is a representation of this data. And the interactivity that I've built in is that you can see the number of tags that documents have in common if you select one tag. So if I select the COS tag, you can see that there are 5 documents that have both the tag Middlebury College and COS. If I select the cell biology tag, you can see that there is one document that has the Middlebury College tag and the cell biology tag, and another document that has the COS tag and the cell biology tag. And that will just work for any of these. And you can see that as I click, it's also changing the highlighted title names here. So when there are none selected, which I can do by refreshing, you can see that all of these are highlighted and all of the tags are also highlighted. But if I select one, the titles get rearranged, and what it's doing is bringing to the top and highlighting the titles of the documents that have the selected tag in it. Unfortunately, I don't currently have a way to show which tag has been selected, so I'm not sure which one I just selected, but okay. Middlebury College is the one I just selected. So now you can see this bar goes all the way to the top. These bars highlight the number of tags in common with these tags, of documents with the common tags in it. And then all of these titles are the ones that have the Middlebury College tag in them. And I also created a tag cloud, which currently doesn't have very interesting visualization with it. But if I click one of these tags, what happens is it just creates a new tag cloud. So it's not very interesting right now, but I wanted it to have some interactivity also. So if I click high resolution large displays and I scroll down, it gives me a not very interesting tag cloud because now it's just one document. But that is the basic demo of what this does. And something that I'm excited about is that it also readjusts based on width and height. So my bar chart has parameters that I can pass to it. And here's a document here. Oh, also, here is my Elasticsearch running right here and Tornado server running right there on my local host. So anyway, I can change the parameters here. Right now I have a width of 800 and a height of 400. But if I change my width to 600 and my height to, actually let's make it 400 and 200, then you'll see that this visualization will shrink when I refresh it, if I've saved it. Okay, now refresh. And you can see that it got smaller, and also that the tags now are not fully spelled out. But if I hover over them, it will give me what the full tag name is. And it still has interactivity. And also, if the height gets too small, I've made it so that it just starts to cut tags off instead of making the visualization impossibly hard to see. So if I set my height to 100, you'll see that it cuts off some of the ones down here. And it just has the tags with the largest number of tags. So I'm just going to go back to 200. And there you have it. So let me see what else I want to show. Well, something that was interesting for me to think about was that I want the user to be able to click anywhere in this row to make the interactivity happen. So for example, I want them to be able to click on this COS. So you click on the text there and it'll still have the interactivity. And even click on this little label, or this label, and it will do the same thing. And you can click on the front bar, or you can click on the back bar. And that was important because to the user it all looks like one thing, but actually each of these 4 parts is a separate entity. So you have the text here, that's a label, and then you have the value label there, and you have a front bar that represents the intersection of tag counts, and then the back bar which shows the total tag count. And so you want to be able to click on the front bar and the back bar and both of those labels. So that's exciting to me that I was able to make that happen, and it just is a matter of using the same click handler for all 4 of them. Okay. So the tag cloud I showed you. Oh, something that is cool about the tag cloud is that you can pass parameters of varying text size. So I could pass it 20 and 40, and then I'll have a much larger cloud. So if I refresh, you can see right now it's pretty small, and then it will get larger based on those parameters. And this is actually a paragraph element, which makes it really nice for resizing. And same with the project titles. It will just resize with the page. Okay, so also something that I did with the label or the tag count bar chart is make it readjust based on the max value here. So I'm going to add another document in Marvel, and let's see, it's this one. So I'm just going to send that, and then it gets created. And you can see it has, among other tags, it has the Middlebury College tag, which is my highest count tag in the visualization. So what happens is this is going to actually become 8. Oh, sorry, this value will become 8, and it will stay the same width, but everything will shrink slightly. So if I refresh, it becomes 8, and everything else shrinks a little bit to adjust. So that's another interactivity that, or actually dynamic feature that I'm excited about. Okay, so I've shown you that this is where the information is coming from, and that's being served from my Python document. And so now I would like to just briefly show you the code itself. So here's where I have my Tornado server, and it has different handlers. This JSON handler is actually for a practice with Tornado that I did, but the Elasticsearch, so ES handler is handling my Elasticsearch queries, and you can see that this is the query that actually gets passed when there's no parameter. So when I go here to this path, I didn't pass any parameters in, so that's why this query is the one that gets asked for, and that's what's being returned here. And then I have my static handler that's handling my static file here, which is visualize.esdata.html, which is where all of my interactivity is happening. So this is the server built with Python and Tornado. And you can find all of this code again on my Learning Tornado repository. And you can also look at visualize.esdata.html, which is where you can pass parameters in to change width and height and min size and max size of the word cloud text. You can also change the styles, some of the styles that I set here for the visualizations. And then finally, this is where the majority of the work happens. So makebarchart.js is a JavaScript file that creates the bar chart, but also builds the titles and the tag cloud, so that the name needs to be changed. And actually, moving forward with the project, I would separate makebarchart into 3 different files, I think, in order to just make the code easier to work with. Because currently it's making all 3 of these components, and I would like to have a separate one for the bar chart and for the titles list and for the tag cloud. But I ran out of time, so right now it's all in one file. And so I have a fetch data function that calls d3.json in order to get data from the Elasticsearch database. But if the URL has already been called, it will keep it in its cache. So that prevents me from calling the Elasticsearch database too many times. Well, calling it any time when it's unnecessary. And then I have my click handler for the word cloud, my function that builds the bar chart, which calls another function called drawBars and labels, where most of the work happens, a function to get the tag counts, and this enables me to get all of the tag counts, or if I pass in a parameter called selected tag name, then it will get the documents that have both the selected tag name and the tag in question. Then I have get title names, which does a similar thing to the tag counts except with titles. I have draw bars and labels, which again does the majority of the work for drawing the bar chart. And it also has, at the end, the click handlers. And so the click handlers for all 4 of these components, the rectangles on the front, the rectangles on the back, the labels, and the value labels, they all do the same thing. They update bars and labels according to the selected tag. So this is my update bars and labels helper, and it updates the title names, and it also updates the bar chart. Then build title names is how to get the titles initially on the page. And again, draw title names does the majority of the work in this one. And then build word cloud with draw word cloud doing the majority of the work. And then at the end, I put these into the exports, build bar chart, and is every tag displayed in the bar chart. I have this parameter, it's kind of wordy right now, it could be renamed, but this is so that in the case that this visualization it only contains some of the tags because the height was too short to show all of them, you could have a more button that actually goes to another page or somehow expands the visualization to show all of the tags. And you would only want to have that link there if this variable is false, if not every tag is displayed in the bar chart. So that's why I have that. It's not being used right now though. And then build word cloud and build title names. So all of these except for this wordy one get called in my HTML file. So app.build bar chart, app.build title names, and app.build word cloud. So yeah, I think that's a good overview of my code. This is where you call the functions inside the JavaScript file. You call them in the HTML file, and the HTML file is served by the Python file with Tornado. So if you would like to get even deeper into this code base, again, you can check out github.com/jamiehand/learning-tornado. And then my README here can help you get started. And I have some to-dos for the future that I already talked about. So thank you for watching, and I hope this is helpful for you. Have a great day. Bye.